Oh, Steve and Larson! Don't you dare be sour. Clap for yourselves and feel the power. Yes. And all you people out there, you're watching Going In Raw with Steve and Larson.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you'll be listening to right here, youtube.com/Steve and Larson, available wherever podcasts can be found. And of course, taped live at the twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Oh boy. So Smackdown happened.
What are you putting it?
Not the most impressive, even for a kickoff show, which is what I was saying this was going to be.
Like I said in the pre-show, apart from the matches, I presume there's no reason for me to ever pay attention to what happens on the kickoff show. I mean, sometimes there's some funny bits, sometimes there's a decent interview, sometimes there's interesting guests. By and large, you know, it's all hype stuff for a pay-per-view you're going to watch anyway, so, you know, it's not a huge deal if you don't pay attention. This is SmackDown. This is the go-home episode. There's still potential to tell the last little bits of story that you feel the audience needs to get excited for this show, to tell the story you're going to tell on the pay-per-view. And so I feel a need to pay attention.
Yeah.
So in that sense, this episode of SmackDown was more disappointing, more of a letdown than any kickoff show, because I feel the obligation to pay attention to it.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot to talk about. Why don't we talk about some news that dropped earlier today? I mean, just sort of off the top of my head, one of the bits that dropped was the confirmation, of course, that Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair will be main eventing, headlining, whatever you want to call it, the last thing that goes on, night one, WrestleMania, so tomorrow night. That, I think, informs our decision a little bit, or validates our answers in terms of who's going to win that match. It seems like Bianca Belair is going to send those people home happy.
So.
And Sasha, even tonight, for the past couple of weeks, when they really pivoted her to be bad guy or arrogant heel, she lays it on so thick that, like, it's crystal clear. She's like cartoonishly arrogant at this point. And on one hand, it's sort of like, I feel like I am to assume that this is creative's decision to have her go this hard and this thick with how
The hubris,
the arrogance. And it's such an attitude adjustment that it kind of does a disservice to the entire thing, to be honest with you.
I know. Well, I mean, there's a lot of creative choices in the build for this match that have done it a disservice.
Right. Yeah, I know. I mean, why?
You
Yeah.
I mean, this feud is getting by on the strength of the talent involved. You know, like every time they put a mic in front of Bianca, it's great. She's a great talker.
Yeah.
She's genuine.
That's the thing. She's genuine.
You know?
Yeah.
And so they're carrying this feud despite the fact that the creative behind it has been lackluster.
You know what it is, dude? For me, it's not even they're carrying it. It's the moment. You know, it's we're going to have a really great moment. You know, we already have this with the main event, what it is, what it means, all that great stuff. And the moment of Bianca Belair, who we've tracked since, you know, we've seen her in NXT, and she really does have a wonderful story. The chronicle they did on her was really great. But this is not a good build. And I'm looking forward to, you know, I think that Bianca and Bayley, even their feud wasn't great, but it did have some really cool moments to it, and I thought it was a lot of fun. This hasn't been that. But the moment's going to be great. Their entrances are going to be great. The match, I think, is going to be stellar. I think the match is going to be a lot better than some people are anticipating.
Yeah.
And the moment of Bianca winning that title, you know, we know, I am positive it's going to happen, but even me knowing that won't kill that moment, because I think that moment's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be really great.
Special, man.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
You know, I think so much of Mania, you know, so many of the matches that they've booked within the last month, which is seemingly like 80% of the card.
Sure. Yeah.
And, you know, and the creative, the build has suffered because of that, because of indecision, waiting to the last moment to, solidify what the shows are going to look like. And going into this, we know good or bad creative, especially in the face of bad creative, the talent out there in that ring are going to be the ones that have to, and by and large, will redeem whatever preceded it because they're that damn good.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
The build to a lot of these matches haven't been great, but when the performers are out there doing their thing, putting on great matches, you're not going to remember the build as much as you remember the moments that happened at the end of it.
Dude, you never do. It's why
well,
you
there's
can
a few
say
instances where there's really good stories. You remember every little bit.
Oh yeah, I'm
all
saying you're right. You're totally right. I'm the Daniel Bryan stuff. I'm talking about, when you think of Mania 31, you don't think about how crap the build was. You generally don't remember the crap stuff if the moments that led to it are really damn good. So, you're absolutely right about that. Hey, by the way, I just noticed somebody posted like what could be considered a spoiler in the chat. Could you refrain from doing that, please?
Okay.
If something's been reported, I'd appreciate it if you didn't.
All right. Yeah. Let's try to keep our chat spoiler free here. Mm-hmm. So I guess one thing that we got, we had the advertised matches, the Andre Battle Royal and the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match, would normally you would assume on a usual year, both be on the actual Mania show, not this year, and they kind of treat them a bit like formalities. Yeah. So the really only thing to glean from tonight was the lack of go-home math in virtually all the major feuds. You got promos from Daniel Bryan, from Edge, from Roman Reigns. Bryan and Roman open and close the show. Edge was right in the middle, right at the top of the second hour. No altercation between Sasha and Bianca, just interviews. Mm-hmm. They really seemed, in those instances as well, WWE seemed to not want to tip their hand as far as what we should expect at Mania. If there was some sort of physicality at the end, Roman stood tall, for example, you'd think, all right, well, that lessens Roman's odds of winning, but we didn't get any of that.
Yeah, dude, that's why this was you're right. This was a weird. It was like a weird in between kickoff show and SmackDown, but the SmackDown stuff was just filler. Like, Edge, Daniel Bryan, and Roman Reigns all make their case. And I don't, yeah, there was nothing. You're right. There was nothing to glean in terms of like
the performance of each of them.
They're great. They're great.
But in terms of new stuff,
yeah, nothing there.
Wasn't a whole lot.
One of the funnier things was that Seth Rollins paid advertisement.
That was great.
That was rad. That didn't really give me any more insight into who's going to win that match, but
there's
still pretty great.
Really was not a lot. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Show opened with a Daniel Bryan promo. He's talking about being excited for Mania, being excited about wrestling in front of the WWE Universe again, so there's nothing like it. And he says he's often associated with the word yes, but for most of his career, has revolved around the word no. Is he big enough? Does he belong in WWE? Is he a superstar? Is Daniel Bryan best for business? Can he be face of the company? He says with all those questions, he's always heard no. He says, well, do I deserve to be in the main event of Mania? If you ask Batista or Randy Orton or Roman Reigns or Edge, they'll tell you no. But if you ask Daniel Bryan, he'll say, damn right I do. He said he's lucky because every time people told him no, his parents, his mentors always told him to ignore the negativity, and that's how he came to say yes. Every time life told him no, he said yes. Mm-hmm. It says Mania 37, that match is going to be the biggest of his career. Edge thinks I stole his spotlight. Roman is mad because Daniel Bryan made him tap out. He says, but if I do that again, Roman is no longer champ or the head of the table. But when people are enraged, they're dangerous. But which Daniel Bryan are we going to see this Sunday? We're going to see the best Daniel Bryan. We see the Daniel Bryan willing to do anything, which leads to his last point. Can Daniel Bryan walk out Mania's champ?
Yes. And the canned yeses get piped in.
Yes.
After that, we had
Street Profits.
Backstage. They're doing this. They had like a promo at the gorilla position, but then before too long, they were attacked by those dirty dogs, which led to the fatal 4-way for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship titles.
If this happened at Mania, I feel like the Dom and Ray probably would have won.
Yeah, I think you mentioned this before that you saw this point being made on Twitter, and you're probably right about that. Yeah, I wonder if, yeah.
You had the Dirty Dogs retaining. It was a fun enough match.
Yeah, no, this was what,
apart from Chad Gable maybe being knocked out for a few seconds.
Yeah, I mean this was like the worst Andre the Giant, and then Andre the Giants are never memorable, but this was particularly.
This one
bad.
felt like an obligation.
It really did. Everybody in there, yeah, they looked like they had better.
I mean, it was 15 minutes. It was 15 minutes.
Yeah.
15-minute long battle royal. Anyways, this match was fun in the end. Dolph. So let me backtrack a little bit. So the Mysterios are in. They hit double 619s. I don't remember on who. And then Dom hits. Oh, it was on Dolph and Bob Roode, I believe. Dom hits Robert Roode with a frog splash. Otis breaks up that cover with a splash. He tosses Ray out of the ring. Then the Street Profits toss Otis out. Montez hits him with a huge tope. Dawkins and Gable are in. They go back and forth for a bit. Ford tags himself in right before Gable hits Dawkins with the rolling German suplex. And right after he hits that, Ford hits Gable with a frog splash. On impact, Ford's knee, it looks like, hit Gable on the head.
Yeah.
And he rung his bell.
Yeah.
So Ford kind of bounces off the frog splash and kind of bounces against the ropes. Bob Roode tags himself in. Dolph super kicks Ford, and then Roode covers Gable to get the win. They retain the tag titles.
You got that right. After that, we had a Bianca Belair interview. She's excited, nervous. She has to be mentally tough. She's been working so hard for so long, the whole world's going to be watching. Kayla asked, Sasha's been here before. She'll do anything to win. Will you do anything to win? Bianca says, and she's very dangerous because of that. Bianca says, well, me being the EST gives me the tools to win, which makes me dangerous. And when I beat Sasha, I missed the punchline of this.
It'll be the greatest night of her life.
Oh, okay, well, that makes sense. Yeah. I think it probably will be. This next bit was good. It was a bit short. I wish they did a longer thing of this. This honestly, like this little clip of Big E, he's at the barbershop talking about that's where he goes to clear his head. Says, and he sort of shows off some of the Tampa.
Well, he prefaces the whole thing by saying, Apollo Crews has been talking about reconnecting with his home. I never left my home.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry. Anyways, go ahead.
Sorry, my dog's barking in the background.
Yeah, I hear.
I like this. I like this thing though because it's like they should be doing more things like this that are longer. Yes, I mean, I hate to say it, this is what AEW does. You know,
NXT does too.
And NXT does this kind of stuff where they produce these like little mini documentaries for their talent to build matches and shows, and it's like, okay, I get to see the human side of them, you know,
exactly.
And I like that, you know.
I like that too, because yeah, he says, you know, hey, this is my barber, you know, it's where I go to clear my mind. He goes downtown, you know, says this building here is where I won the state wrestling championship in high school. I played my high school state championship football game in Raymond James Stadium. He says I own a piece of the soil there. Mm-hmm. He says, you know, he's gonna walk out a Mania champ. And Raymond James Stadium is going to be where Apollo Crews' intercontinental title dreams go to die.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I thought this was good. It just needed to be a lot longer.
Yeah.
Speaking of long, we had an extended Fiend Orton package on a show
this is the wrong show.
Not even featured on. Didn't stop him from doing the same thing for the WWE Championship, though.
I know.
But before that, we had Tamina versus Nia Jax. This was interesting in that Tamina started. It looked like she was shooting on Nia Jax.
Well, early on, she yells at
off.
Tamina, "You're not the dominant performer. I am." And then Tamina was just laying into her with huge shots. It was great.
It was really. This is actually pretty a high point as well because like they would focus on Nia Jax and I was like taken aback. She's like, "Oh my god, this isn't cool. Mm-hmm. You're not cool." But anyways, you had speculated that there was going to be a big, massive scrum with all the tag teams involved in the women's tag division that actually waited another segment because at the end of this, Shayna did attack Tamina when she got the upper hand towards the finish of the match, ended in a big skirmish DQ, and then that was followed by an interview with the Riot Squad, which was then interrupted by Carmella and Billie Kay. I don't know why I have Bianca here, but it was Billie Kay. And they interview Ruby and Liv, and Ruby says, well, we're focused. We've learned from our vast number of losses. Carmella says those tag titles are mine. Oops, I mean ours, because Mella is money. And then the other two teams show up. They bicker and fight.
Yes.
And then Tamina and Natalia sort of come out on top of that. Like everybody's
they stand tall. Yeah, they lay everybody else out.
Yeah.
Then we get this great Seth Rollins, essentially a political ad, where it starts with talking about Cesaro, what a failure he is, and all his Mania experiences. There's giant X's over, all his past manias, none of them as a singles wrestler. But here comes Seth Rollins, the wrestler we all deserve. He knows what it's like to lead and take charge and win. And they had this advertisement is brought to you by, or was approved by Seth Rollins and all that kind of stuff. It was great.
Yeah,
it was really good.
It was pretty good stuff. After that, we had an Edge promo. Again, this was really, really well delivered. He sat down in a chair in the middle of the ring. They had some really great close-ups on him. And he talked about manifesting his dreams. He says, when I dream things, I have to manifest them. Some of you can relate to this, some not. He says, I did. I became a WWE superstar. I accomplished everything, except ending my career on my terms. I had this ripped away from me. This is all I wanted to do. I didn't want to use wrestling to do another career. This was it. He sort of whines about it being a triple threat match a little bit more. He says Roman walks around here like everybody owes him something. I don't owe you anything. You owe me. He says, let's run it back. You came into WWE in a 3-man group. Entrance through the crowd. You took the spear. Guess who that reminds me of? Me, Edge. He says, I came back to swing for the fences. Now we had our match stolen by Daniel Bryan. I shouldn't have to jump through hoops. I came back from something no one has ever come back from. He talked about his fusion surgery.
What, like three fused vertebrae or something like that?
Yeah. He says, you have no idea the pain I went through. He says, you want to call me a part-timer? I'm doing Ranas off the top rope, competing at a level no one has ever from this injury. He says, or put respect on my name. I am the rated R superstar. He says, call it what you want. I'm the next Universal Champion because I've dreamt it, and now I will manifest it.
I like that he mentioned the 10 years to the day, and he's like, why isn't this being promoted more? If this was Daniel Bryan, this would be in all the video packages. How come I get no video packages about that?
Because he's not going to win, that's why.
Remains to be seen, Steve. Have they decided who's winning? Yeah, they have. Next, we get Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville backstage. They're chatting up, kind of pretty friendly. And then Sonya says, it wasn't fair that Robert Roode and Dolph will have to defend their tag titles at a fatal 4-way.
A little weird.
And that actually happened.
Yep.
Anyways, but she says, I also don't think Daniel Bryan should have got the title shot at Mania either. It should be 1-on-1 Edge versus Roman. And Adam Pearce just kind of goes,
I don't like where this is headed. Yeah, good point. I don't think I've ever just said something to you and then walked away without you responding. Like, okay, I'll talk to you later. Seems rude and awkward. After that, we had us to talk about rude and awkward. We have a Sasha interview. She responds to, apparent according to my notes, Sasha, but it was Bianca. Says she doesn't care what Bianca has to say. Bianca may be the EST, but she's not the EST because I always am, and I always will be. Tomorrow, she's gonna give me all, and I want her to do that because everything she gives me, I'm gonna give it right back. When I make her tap out, she's gonna realize her place beneath me. I'm the BEST, the best, and still the SmackDown Women's Champion.
Do the laugh again. I think she did laugh another time.
It's a good laugh.
It is a good laugh.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like when Bayley got to her character in the end, it was a path. And with Sasha, it was a switch.
Well, here's the thing. They need her to be a heel to get the reaction they want to wrestle.
I know.
There's no organic build. There's no forethought into it. It's like, this is how we want it to go.
Yeah.
Do it.
It was the same thing with Bob Lashley. It was the same thing. It was a switch, not a path.
They realized, this is the moment we want to have.
Yeah.
We have 2 weeks to get there. Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Speaking of Bob Lashley, we had extended video package, his feud with the last month with Drew McIntyre. I went and made dinner, came back. It was still going. It was pretty long.
Yeah.
After that, Sammy visits Logan Paul in a Miami boxing gym. He gets in there. Logan is sparring with his brother. Sammy, let's talk about the trailer blowing up. Credits Logan for the success. Talks about Mania. Says it's going to be exciting. And then he suggests, hey, I got my gear out in the car. How about I get in there, the three of us spar? And he doesn't wait for an answer. He goes outside, realizes the door is shutting behind him, turns around. It's too late. Door's locked. He starts banging on it, calling for Logan. Someone else opens the door, tells Sammy it's closed. Closes the door on him. And we go to commentary, and as soon as they start talking, he just pops right in.
It was pretty funny.
He just pops right in. And he's like, hey, you're showing this footage selectively. You're not showing the bit. This is part of the conspiracy. You're not showing the bit where Logan Paul comes over to security and starts chewing him out. You don't show he and I having breakfast together or lunch. He's asked what Logan Paul had for breakfast. And Sammy goes, grapefruit, salad. He keeps on going and going and going. Meanwhile, like 27, how many people were in that battle royal? 30 or 20? Anyways, like 9% of the field.
Yeah, I think it's 20.
For the Andre Battle Royal came down the ring while this is happening, and Kevin Owens hops the barricade, attacks Sammy, goes for a stunner, and then Sammy runs out through the crowd, through the over the barricade.
Yeah. Then we had the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. So like the only thing that that's really memorable about this necessarily was Cedric and Shelton were out there. Cedric had put a taped X through the Hurt Business logo, and then everybody teamed up on them and threw them out pretty quickly.
After they eliminated like 2 people.
Yeah, Ali eliminated at least Dijak, maybe
both
Mace as well.
Dijak. Yeah, Mace and Dijak.
Yeah. Him and Ricochet had a good spot there on the apron when Ricochet eliminated Ali, and then Jay, I think, super kicked Ricochet off the apron. Is that right? Is that how it went? Holy crap! Look at my memory, just on all cylinders, man.
All right, how did Baron Corbin get eliminated?
Hey, Baron Corbin. Hold on, don't tell me. Baron Corbin. Now I'm lost. I don't know.
Nakamura knocked him off the apron with a knee.
Oh, I was going to say Kinshasa. Okay.
And then Nakamura ran to a super kick from Jay.
Yeah.
He responds with kind of a Kinshasa. He tries to toss Jay over the top rope. Jay just does the thing where he just reverses it, tosses Nakamura out. He gets the win. He goes and poses.
Next to Andre, yeah.
Next to the Andre trophy. Roman's music hits. Jay, as soon as
he says, hey, boss.
It was pretty great because Jay was, he's like posing, happy about it, and the Roman's music hit, and he was almost like, oh, how did I disappoint him now? You know what I mean? That was his reaction.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't get a second to celebrate.
No.
So Roman comes down the ring. He gives Jay a hug. He holds the title up. We go to commercial. We come back. We have a Roman Reigns promo.
I'm annoyed I have to be here.
Yeah.
Roman's so great.
I'm not a politician.
Yeah.
I don't have to sell myself to you. I got Paul. I got more important things to worry about. I got a match where I could lose without being pinned. But while I'm here, I'll state the obvious. I'm going to show up and win. You know the phrase. You bought the shirt. That might sound like an arrogant statement, but that's my start. Show days are easy. When you prep at 12, work at 10, shows are easy. He talks about Daniel Bryan and Edge being tough guys the last 2 weeks. He's been a tough guy every week since SummerSlam. 30-plus weeks. Numbers don't lie. And that spells disaster for Edge, Daniel Bryan. That's not what he said. He said, who changed the ratings for this show? Me. Who made the Universal title relevant? Me. He says, my counterparts, you got Bryan running around telling everybody that I tapped. He says, Daniel Bryan, you're holding on by a thread. If I tapped, you'd be champion. But you're not, and you won't be on Sunday because you won't make me tap. Edge, you want to complete this comeback. This is where your comeback ends, though. Taking the belt isn't the dream. The dream is being in the main event because that's where the dream is going to end. Says this last year for Roman was just the jump off. Wait till you see what I do next. Talks about dreamers being selfish. He's not. He saves careers. Ask Jay, who gave you the best career or best year of your career? Me. But he's not going to do that for Edge and Daniel Bryan. He's going to crush their dreams. He says, I'm going to take a line from Paul. This isn't a prediction. It's a spoiler. He's going to wreck everyone, and he's going to leave.
He's going to wreck them.
I'm going to win. I'm going to hold the Universal title over my head, and they'll look up and see a man better than them. You'll hear $1 million in pyro go off, and you'll hear the whole world acknowledge him.
Acknowledge me. Yeah, I thought it was a super strong promo. Mm-hmm. It actually, you know what? All three of these promos went a long way towards selling the match. They were really, really well done. It's just like sort of a formality.
Edge is just like reeking of desperation.
He is, yeah. The numbers don't lie.
But, it's triple threat, no DQ. So
Edge is like, yeah, Daniel Bryan in this match, drastic go down. Oh, man. Anyways, let's go ahead and take some questions. I think I have a thread here on Le Patreon, patreon.com/Steven Larson. Hey, Paulie. We're at the Patreon now. Cameron Bortolazzo says, with the lack of builds for 85% of the matches of Mania, who would you want to make a shock return, debut, or a turn? A turn. Give me a turn. I want a turn.
What if Braun Strowman beats Shane McMahon so badly that you start to feel bad for Shane?
That'd be pretty cool. Because it'd have to be a real beating.
It would have to be bad.
It'd have to be brutal where it's like, oh, he needs to stop this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be great. Let's see here. Oh, wow. This is great. Alex Foster, besides getting a haircut, what activity would you like to see a video package being filmed during?
Mowing the lawn.
Dude, you know what? Like a video package, but if somebody was doing a Triple D thing, if they're sitting at a diner, wherever Mania is, whatever town it's in, at the best low key the small time diner, eating whatever amazing
That's
sandwich
good.
Or whatever they have.
That's good.
That's what I want to see. Some foodie stuff.
Yeah, I like that. I always like learning about places, excellent restaurants.
So this Nick Gage, Ricky Shane Page match, they were setting it up, and they were literally standing up, if this was the ring, light tubes. It's a wall of 4 walls of light tubes.
Yeesh.
That's gonna be a bloody match.
You got that right. Roman Empire says the actual message implied the ad had absolutely no connection nor associated with Seth Rollins, but was narrated by Seth Rollins. Goddamn fantastic. I laughed out loud in front of my computer while working on something like a lunatic. It was really good.
It was pretty great. Let's see here. Hammond Serrano, if you guys had to manage the very first class of WWE Hall of Shame 2021, who would be inducted? Santina Marella, Shockmaster, ECW Zombie. How about this? Somebody posted this in Mod Chat the other day. At some point, at WWE's Access or something, they had, or maybe at the restaurant, I don't know, they had a mold made of Stacy Keibler's behind.
I saw that. It was
where fans
Access,
could grope it and have their picture taken.
Oh my God.
What the fuck were people thinking back then? Are you serious?
I don't know, man.
Whoever did that.
Yeah, agreed.
That's in there.
Agreed.
Hey, I want to take my kid to this form of entertainment. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe not.
Hamish, can we get Enforcemania and Steve-a-Mania t-shirts made like KO Mania style?
Oh,
about Larson Mania.
Yeah, what about? Why did you leave out Larson Mania? Ooh, you got heat.
Apparently. Maybe Hamish likes the Wrestling News Now voice.
That could be, yeah. That's what I'm going to get that for the Friendoville channel. Just Wrestling Channel News shirts with my terrible font.
Sue Ellen 29 with a sub. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sue Ellen. Gregory asks, are Edge's promos the best promos in wrestling right now? Who's got? He's a really good promo. He's a really terrific promo. I don't really care too much about his character. I'm kind of yeah, whatever on him. But I don't know, who's got the best promos right now? Who's the best talker? I mean, not named Eddie Kingston.
You make the case for MJF.
Yeah, MJF is really good, huh?
He goes a bit long sometimes, but even when he goes long, I wouldn't say he's boring though.
Ricky Shane Page is wearing all white, and that's going to be just soaked in red blood.
Yeah. By the end of the match, his gear is going to look about the same color of my shirt.
Yeah, that's why he did that.
Wow. Jorge D, after the success of Rollins' political ad, Corbin wants to make his own to rehab his image. Like every politician, he funds the Friends of Corbin super PAC to make his ad. He goes on Twitch, sees Going in Raw, and hires Steven Larson to be in charge after hearing their amazing impression. Hey, you guys, here's a blank check. Show me what you got.
Show me what you got.
Pitch your political ad to Corbin. This is where the conspiracy thing comes in. You show that old promo of Corbin, It says, look at what the WWE machine tried to turn Baron Corbin into.
Yeah. Who's running this agenda? Black and white photos. Whoosh.
Yeah. Corbin staring at a bunch of garbage, you know.
That was my favorite. Oh, it's 2 walls of light tubes still. That's a lot of light tubes.
That is a lot.
If everybody can please just back away from the ring, because otherwise you're going to get hurt.
Ugh. Dr. Lipkin, Becky versus Charlotte versus Ronda was the first women's match to main event Mania, but Sasha versus Bianca will be the first Mania main event to be entirely African Americans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a great moment. It's a really great moment, you know?
Yeah, it is. It really is. Night by night, you open the book to the Enforcer section, which reads, typically mercenaries by trade offering their services to the highest bidder. Enforcers are an extremely rare breed of interdimensional humanoids known for their height, smooth shaven head, intimidating presence. When well rested and well fed, they are friendly and docile, but become dangerous and mean if their needs are not being met. The door reopens and Space Enforcer storms back in. He snatches the book away and demands to know what you read. How do you respond? I don't know. That's what I'd say. I don't know.
I would say, friend, let's go get some food. I'll pay. Because we've just been given the info. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the key to getting back home, feeding him, making sure he's well rested, and then he'll be the enforcer we know.
This works perfectly because I'll say, I don't know.
Yeah.
Making it seem like we didn't read anything. Mm-hmm. And then you came with a great idea, completely inspired by your own thoughts. I'm hungry. Let's go get some food.
Right. Yeah. This is this in terms of Friendo merch. Maggie suggesting we're not doing a head of the table one, Maggie, but a Larson family shirt. The Larson family.
Larson family office.
yeah. Larson Family Industries. Oh,
Zoe Kinrana. One of my favorite parts of Mania is the Mania gear.
Oh yeah,
dog decided to roll.
It
Who's going to have the best gear at Mania? It's going to be Bianca.
It's got to be Bianca. Man. She's going to make it herself. Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely amazing.
Let's see here. Moses Opposes says, I am so disappointed that Logan Paul's involved in what could be a dream match. Zayn versus Owens at Mania. Assuming we have to keep Logan, what other feud heading into WrestleMania would you have put him in instead? Braun versus Shane. Because it's like the one who's like, who cares about that match?
And also, like, Shane could either try to get some boxing training from the Paul brothers or just make fun of the Paul brothers because they think they're real boxers where he does the stuff. Yeah.
What's this?
White Brownie, since you're saying Asuka is winning besides Charlotte and Becky, who should take the title off her? Should not be Charlotte. She should beat Charlotte at a pay-per-view for the title.
Yeah, at WrestleMania for the title.
So I think Rhea could.
Yeah, I think it's a possibility.
Make the case should. I just feel like the build, if you want to call it that we've seen thus far, if it's going to happen, people will be like, all right.
Rhea is a perfect example of just because she was a big deal in NXT doesn't mean that Vince sees it that way. She still has to prove herself on main roster.
Yep. Quoth Raven, when Belair wins the belt, it'll be the first time in a long time a horsewoman wouldn't have a belt. Which one will get it back? Bayley.
Oh, you think it's going to be Bayley?
Have Bayley come back around.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
With Bianca.
I like that.
Wow. Patrick Oliva says Daly's Place going full capacity in 2 weeks for concerts, so might be a full house for Blood and Guts. Oof.
Appropriate. I'm going to be coughing their blood and guts out.
Oof.
David Matushak, do you ever wish... what a weird question. Do you ever wish for trance music to be in a wrestler's entrance theme with the crowd jumping to the beat? No, David, I don't.
No. Zoe Jeremy.
No, I don't. I don't want people to be happy.
Zoe Jeremy, LA Knight for best promo.
I mean, yes. It is kind of just The Rock, though, right?
Well, he does a really good job of using a whole lot of words to say nothing.
That's true, too. Yeah, because there has to be some substance there.
Yeah.
Good Lord. This is very quickly just a slaughter here. Oh, my God.
Well, immediately is Ricky Shane's page gear already bright red.
This is ridiculous.
Is Nick Gage taking the MDK thing a bit too far already?
He really is. It's like 5 minutes into this match. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty great. I'm all done with the Patreon questions. Do we have any more on the Twitch?
I'm just trying to do something. You have a superhero group like the Avengers, but it's the Enforcers led by Space Enforcer. Which other wrestling enforcers would join the team? Tyson, maybe?
So
gotta have Arn.
So you got Tyson, you got Arn, you got Larry Zbyszko. He was one of the Enforcers too.
That's true.
You also have the guy, the video game character that they replaced Tyson with.
Yes.
In Stone Cold's career retrospective.
Yes.
He was just known as the Enforcer. Oh, there's the Enforcer.
Yeah.
So yeah, that guy too.
All right, that's what I got. You want to go watch that match, so we can get out of here.
This is ridiculous. You need to hop into Dope's Discord. I mean, we need to order this. Thanks everybody for paying attention, for watching. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.